It is one of the most famous landmarks in the world and the most photographed in the UK. The Great Clock has chimed for 6 monarchs and 29 prime ministers, but has now been silenced for some serious TLC if it's to continue keeping time for generations to come.
Scaffolding will be around the 96-metre tower for around 4 years while conservation work takes place. But to get a closer look, we need to walk all the way up. Tessa, you're the Deputy Architect.
Hello,
Thank
Riz.
you for showing
nice
us around.
to see you.
Major renovation and fire safety improvements have become urgent, as it's been more than 30 years since extensive work on the tower.
So quite a long way up then.
Certainly, yes.
The single spiral staircase has 334 limestone steps. Now a lift is to be installed in a ventilator shaft, but only for emergencies. Oh, and the tower will get its first ever loo.
You can see to Victoria Tower at the other end of the palace.
The windows need a good clean.
So they certainly do.
Surveys are still being carried out to establish the extent of the work required.
There's some visible damage to the plasterwork from condensation up here. And here we go into the dial rooms.
It's surreal to think I'm standing behind one of the most famous clock faces in the world. But all is not well. The biggest culprit, water, causing cracks and corrosion.
You can see the scale, the magnitude of the task ahead of us. And if we leave it in this state for any longer, there is going to be really serious damage, and there would be a risk of some of it being irretrievable.
The clock will be dismantled piece by piece and all 4 of the 7-metre wide dials carefully cleaned and repaired, and the lights replaced with low-energy LEDs. I take a quick peek at the mechanism behind the clock.
This is an incredible piece of history. It was made in 1854 in the Strand by the clockmaker to the Queen, and it was installed in 1859.
And to this day, it's kept accurate by adding or removing old penny coins to the pendulum.
And here we are in the belfry.
And this, of course, is Big Ben.
It certainly is.
I guess the ironic thing is, there's nothing wrong with the bell.
Nothing wrong at all with the bell itself. It's just the rest of the structure around it, really.
And controversially, it had to be silenced.
You can imagine how disruptive it would be if every 15 minutes the whole workforce had to block their ears.
But we'll still hear the bongs on special occasions like Remembrance Day and New Year's Eve.
Tread carefully as you come up here.
It's very rare to get access to the top of the tower. This is where major work needs to be done.
These are cast iron roof tiles, which we have throughout the palace. They're about that wide, about that tall, about that thick. Takes 2 men to lift each one.
And these have to be taken off one by one and repaired?
Indeed.
These renovations are going to take time and money. The cost has already doubled to around £60 million. The price of preserving this Victorian masterpiece.